B2 C1 English Story. The Businessman. Aidan was a successful businessman. He had a jet-setter lifestyle, a fancy flat in London, a home in the country, and wonderful friends dotted across the globe. He launched his own business at the tender age of 18 and has since continued to move up the ranks in the corporate world, being the proud owner of 2 successful businesses. He was the envy of all his old school friends. He was always full of ideas and ambition. He wanted to succeed. Aidan always knew he wanted to get out of his town as soon as he could. He had watched TV shows about entrepreneurs and company owners. He spent hours scrolling through YouTube videos about people who lived in huge mansions, and he knew that life was something he wanted to emulate. When he completed his studies at school, he decided to defer his university course for a year. He made a promise to his parents that if his business didn't take off in a year, then he would go on to complete his bachelor's in business management the following September. Aidan was never one to not complete a goal. He knew he had to set up multiple income streams, so he decided to launch 2 businesses. One was window cleaning, and the other was selling merchandise online. His parents and friends thought he was mad. If he had £1 for every time someone said, "Window cleaning, you'll never make money doing that," then he would be twice as rich as he already was. He had already seen an opening in the area of window cleaning. Of course, it wasn't exactly a glamorous industry, but it was an industry where there weren't enough cleaners to meet demand. He knew this because he had spent the last few summers working in temporary jobs where the owners of the fancy companies with huge windows would complain about the lack of good cleaning services. Since then, Aidan had researched into equipment, costs, and insurances. He knew he just had to give it a go. He applied for bursaries and government-backed loans for young entrepreneurs and was successful in gaining some funding to enable him to purchase the equipment he needed. First, he reached out to the managing director of the company where he had previously worked as an office assistant. His job at the time consisted of filing customer records, data input, and making everyone cups of tea. He also had to sign in any visitors, and this included incredibly expensive window cleaners. Aidan gave the director a call and explained to him who he was and what he could offer the company. The director was ecstatic. He wanted to have plush, fancy offices, and streaky windows certainly didn't make the impression he wanted to make on prospective business partners. Before he knew it, Aidan had his first client. He visited the company every 2 weeks and cleaned all of the windows himself using state-of-the-art equipment. Aidan's bright and bubbly personality helped him because people were drawn to him. He would always stay after he'd finished the job and have a cuppa with the team he previously worked with during his summer holidays. Aidan began to get more recommendations, which led to more clients. After 6 months, he was cleaning windows for 26 private properties and 12 businesses. He wasn't rich yet, but he was well on the way to making himself a decent income. The only problem was, if he continued at this rate, he would have to hire an assistant as he simply couldn't keep up with demand. Alongside his cleaning business, Aidan started researching into selling merchandise online. He had always been good at drawing and design, and so decided to put his skills to effective use. He designed various t-shirts, hoodies, phone cases, and mugs with quirky logos, funny slogans, and intricate designs. He then uploaded his designs to print-on-demand websites where he had to do very little. He sat back and waited for his designs to sell. It was a terribly slow process at first, so he started to send out samples of his work to influencers who, in turn, advertised his work on their social media channels. Slowly but surely, he started to build up a following, and around Father's Day, Mother's Day, and Christmas, he always sold more of his products. His first year as a full-time freelancer and business owner was one of ups and downs. Aidan learnt a lot of lessons the hard way. He was terrible at saving his money. He didn't understand how taxes worked, and he struggled to stay on top of his bookings. After gaining some advice from an old work colleague, he got himself an accountant and started to pay a friend to help him with his administrative tasks for 10 hours a week. Suddenly, he felt a lot less stressed and was able to spend time producing more designs for his print-on-demand shop, as well as contacting prospective businesses who might want to use his cleaning services. Aidan was an ideas man, and having the support of a trusted friend to assist him with his invoicing, administration, and social media channels really helped to lighten the load so he could let his creative juices flow. As his gap year came to an end, Aidan and his parents discussed his next steps. It was clear to all of them that he was a natural businessman, and Aidan's parents agreed that they were happy for him to continue his work on his businesses. Aidan took some time to think about it. He saw his friends enjoying their time at university, and to some extent, he felt like he was missing out on the typical university lifestyle. On the other hand, he was his own boss and loved being in charge of his days. He had no one to answer to except himself and his clients. Aidan visited his friends at university whenever he could. He even attended a couple of university open days as he wanted to experience how it felt being on campus. After some careful consideration, he realized he didn't need to go to university and get a degree in business because he was already running 2 startups. He was learning on the job. He declined his university offer and put even more time and effort into his work. By the time his friends finished university a few years later, Aidan was the owner of a window cleaning empire and a successful merchandising company. His reputation as a hard-working, reliable, and affordable window cleaning service provider grew from strength to strength. He even won several awards as the One to Watch and Best Young Entrepreneur of the Year. He could finally afford to move away from the town he grew up in and explore the world. Within 10 years, he had a flat in London and was looking into investing in property in the country. At the age of 18, his sights were solely focused on money and having assets. Now he saw the world differently. He wanted to do a respectable job and provide excellent service and products to his customers, whatever came along with that. was a bonus. Aidan had an inner belief in his abilities as a businessman and was brave enough to act upon them. If you could pursue an inner belief, what would it be?